The first thing Aaron Vale noticed about the palace was the silence. Not the peaceful kind. The kind that pressed against your ears, as if the building itself was listening, waiting, judging. He stood at the base of a vast obsidian staircase, his boots reflecting faint streaks of silver light that moved across the floor like slow currents. Above him, the ceiling stretched impossibly high, disappearing into a dim glow that pulsed like a distant heartbeat. "This is a mistake," he muttered under his breath. "State your name," a voice echoed. Aaron looked up. There were no guards in sight. No visible source. Just the voice. "Aaron Vale," he replied cautiously. A pause. Then, "You stand before the court of sovereign ascension." Aaron swallowed. "Yeah, I gathered that." Another pause. "Step forward." He hesitated, then took a step. The moment his foot touched the first air, the entire chamber shifted. Light ignited along the walls. Symbols, ancient, alien, alive, spread outward like ripples across a dark ocean. Aaron exhaled slowly. "No turning back now," he said. And he climbed. The summons. Aaron hadn't asked to be here. 3 days ago, he was a nobody. Just another salvage runner drifting through the outer systems, picking apart dead ships and forgotten stations for anything worth selling. Then the summons came. No sender. No explanation. Just coordinates and a message. "You have been chosen." He almost ignored it. Almost. But the coordinates led here. To Ellora Prime, the heart of an empire older than most known civilizations. And now, he was standing in its palace. Because curiosity, he had learned, was sometimes more dangerous than fear. 2. The Court of Light. At the top of the staircase, the silence broke. Not with noise, but with presence. The chamber opened wide, revealing a circular hall filled with beings unlike anything Aaron had ever seen. Some were tall and radiant, their forms shimmering like liquid light. Others were more defined, humanoid, but with features that defied human biology. All of them were watching him. At the center of the hall stood a raised platform, and on it, the Queen. Aaron felt it instantly. Power. Not the kind you could measure with weapons or armies. Something deeper, older. She sat upon a throne that seemed carved from pure starlight, her form both solid and shifting at once. Her eyes held a calm intensity, like she had already seen every possible outcome of the moment. Aaron forced himself to keep walking. "Aaron Vale," she said, her voice resonating through the chamber, without effort. He stopped a few steps from the platform. "That's me." "You wonder why you are here?" "Yeah," he said. "That would be nice to know." A faint smile touched her lips. "You were selected," she said, "from countless others." "Why?" "Because you are unpredictable." Aaron blinked. "That's not usually something people look for." "In your world," she replied. "No." 3. The test. She raised her hand slightly. The air shifted. 3 figures appeared beside the platform. 3 women. Each different. Each extraordinary. The first stood tall and composed, her presence calm and steady. Her eyes glowed faintly, radiating intelligence and quiet strength. The second was fierce, her stance confident, her expression sharp. Energy seemed to crackle faintly around her, as though she carried a storm beneath her skin. The third was gentle, almost ethereal, her form soft and luminous, her gaze filled with something that felt like compassion. Aaron stared. "Okay," he said slowly. "I'm guessing this isn't just for show." The Queen watched him carefully. "Choose one," she said. Silence fell over the chamber. Aaron frowned. "Choose one?" "Yes." "For what?" "She will be yours." The words echoed. Aaron blinked. "I'm sorry, what?" "She will stand beside you," the Queen continued. bound to your path, your ally, your partner. Aaron looked between the three women again, then back at the queen. And if I don't choose? Her expression didn't change. Then you leave with nothing. 4. The weight of a decision. Aaron exhaled slowly. This is a test, he said. Yes. What kind of test involves this? One that reveals truth. Whose truth? He asked. Yours. He rubbed the back of his neck. All right, he muttered. No pressure. He stepped forward, approaching the three figures. Each of them met his gaze. Each of them waited. The first spoke. I will offer you stability, she said. Clarity. A path without chaos. The second smirked slightly. I will offer you power, she said. Strength to shape your own destiny. The third stepped closer. I will offer you understanding, she said softly. A connection that goes beyond survival. Aaron listened. Really listened. Then, he stepped back. The choice that wasn't made. The chamber grew still. Aaron turned. Not toward the three women, but toward the queen. Her eyes narrowed slightly. Have you made your choice? She asked. Yeah, he said. And? Aaron pointed. At her. I choose you. The silence that followed was absolute. The three women vanished instantly. The air in the chamber shifted, tense, charged, uncertain. You misunderstand, the queen said, her voice colder now. No, Aaron replied. I don't think I do. You were instructed to choose one of the three. I know, and yet you refuse. I didn't refuse, he said calmly. I chose. Murmurs spread through the chamber. The queen rose slowly from her throne. You challenge the terms of this test. Aaron shrugged slightly. I answer it honestly. 6. The truth behind his decision. Explain, the queen said. Aaron took a breath. They're not real choices, he said. A flicker of something passed through her expression. Go on. They're pieces, he continued. Stability. Power. Connection. But none of them are whole. And you believe I am? I think you're the one who created the test, he said. So, yeah. The chamber grew quieter, if that was even possible. You assume much, she said. Maybe, Aaron admitted. But if this is about truth, then that's mine. He met her gaze. You didn't bring me here to pick an option, he said. You brought me here to see if I'd question them. 7. The queen's reaction. For a long moment, she said nothing. Then, she stepped down from the platform. The entire chamber seemed to shift with her movement. You are either very perceptive, she said, or very reckless. Usually both, Aaron replied. A faint smile returned to her lips. Indeed. She stopped a few steps away from him. Do you understand what you are asking? Not really, he admitted. But I know I'm not going to pretend those were real choices. And choosing me is? Aaron hesitated. Then, it's the only honest answer I've got. 8. The hidden purpose. The queen studied him closely. Then she turned, addressing the chamber. The test is complete, she said. A ripple of reaction spread through the gathered beings. Some seemed surprised, others not. What happens now? Aaron asked. She looked back at him. Now, she said, we move to the truth. The chamber darkened. The walls dissolved into shifting patterns of light. Visions appeared, vast, overwhelming. Galaxies, civilizations, wars, collapse. Aaron staggered slightly. What is this? He asked. The reality you are a part of, she said. 9. A universe in danger. The visions grew darker. Stars flickered out. Entire systems vanished into nothingness. A presence, massive, incomprehensible, moved through the void. Destroying, consuming. That's real. Aaron whispered. Yes. And you're dealing with it? I am trying. Aaron looked at her. And You needed someone to pick a partner for that? No, she said. I needed someone who wouldn't follow instructions blindly. X. Why him? Why me? Aaron asked again. Because you break patterns, she said. That doesn't sound like a skill. It is when patterns lead to extinction. He frowned. And the others you brought here? They chose, she said. And that was wrong. It was expected. Aaron crossed his arms. So, I passed the test by not playing along. You passed the test, she said, by seeing beyond it. 11, a new role. The visions faded. The chamber returned. But something felt different. More focused. What happens now? Aaron asked. The queen stepped closer. Now, she said, you stand beside me. He blinked. Wait, seriously? You chose me, she said. And I accept. Aaron let out a short laugh. I didn't think that part through. No, she said. You didn't. Is that a problem? She looked at him. No, she said. It is exactly what was needed. 12. The beginning of change. The court began to disperse. The tension eased. But Aaron remained where he stood. So, what does standing beside you actually mean? He asked. It means seeing what I see, she said. And doing what? Helping me decide. He raised an eyebrow. You trust me with that? I trust your ability to question, she said. That's a risky strategy. She nodded. Yes. 13. Epilogue. The man who broke the rules. In the cycles that followed, stories spread of a human who stood before the queen and refused to play by the rules. Some called him foolish. Others called him dangerous. But those closest to power understood, because in a universe built on patterns, the one who breaks them changes everything. And somewhere, beyond the edges of known space, the force that consumed worlds paused, as if noticing something new, something unexpected, a single choice, a broken rule, and the beginning of a future no one had predicted.